All right, guys, welcome back to Tag Guy, the Sports Guy. I am Tag Guy, the Sports Guy. Today on this channel, we are going to talk about lots of things. But first, before we talk about it, like, subscribe, hit, share, add, pound that pound button, pound that subscribe button, let everybody know about me, talk about it. So today we're going to talk about some of the guys who are been great surprises so far this year in the fantasy baseball world. Some guys who absolutely sucked. We're going to talk about Tony La Russa and why he is an idiot. And we're also going to talk about common sense trades. Common sense. Something that is lacking very much so now in this day and age. So anyways, I'm Tag Guy, the Sports Guy. And here we go. All right, first topic we're going to talk about our fantasy baseball studs so far. Guys who absolutely crushed it. Guys who, if you've had them on your team, traded for them, anything like that, you've been more than pleasantly surprised. First guy we're going to talk about is Ian Kiner Falafa for the Texas Rangers. These bad boys right here. He is a shortstop for them now. He's playing Gold Glove defense, but it doesn't count for crap in fantasy baseball. What he is doing for fantasy baseball is he is stealing. He is hitting for a good average. He's scoring runs. He is doing a lot of great things, especially if you have him as a catcher in your fantasy baseball team. So if you have him as a catcher, he is a top catcher right now. He is absolutely doing so many things for that category. You are a very, very, very happy owner. Next guy we're going to talk about Corbin Burnes. This year he's been pitching out of his mind. He pitched out of his mind last year. This year just a repeat of last year. He just came off the DL for being sick. He is coming back. He had 9 Ks last start, so he's Corbin Burnes. He didn't lose a beat whatsoever. Now, it sucks if you're a Corbin Burnes owner is the Milwaukee offense. They are absolutely trash. Trash. Beyond trash. They have 0 good hitters right now. Nobody on their team is worth really having except for maybe their catcher and maybe Yelich if he figures out what is going on with his back. Other than that, the rest of the Milwaukee Brewers offense is absolutely terrible, horrendous. You don't need to have them in any way, shape, or form on your fantasy roster. Now, next guy we're going to have out who has been above and beyond phenomenal is Joe Musgrove for the San Diego Padres. He threw a no-no earlier this year. He's just keeping up the momentum. He had 2 dull starts in there, but he's right back on where he was supposed to be. Had a great start the other day. Had, I think, 12 or 14 Ks or something like that. Threw the ball great against Colorado, shut him out. So he had a wonderful day. Next guy we're going to have out, this guy is a big surprise to me personally because I think 3 or 4 years ago, this guy was amazing. He crushed the Brewers, had a huge slump, went to Tampa Bay, and he got picked up by the Miami Marlins 2 years ago, and he's been playing great for him ever since then. Jesus Aguilar, first baseman for him. Dude's always had a good stick. He's always had lots of pop. For whatever reason, he just kind of lost it for a year. I don't know if it was just a confidence issue or just because he just didn't want to be in Milwaukee anymore, but whatever it was. But he's now found his new stride, his new home in Miami. Absolutely crushing it, doing some great things for the Miami Marlins. He's in that middle of the lineup, 3-4 all day, every day. So if you got Jesus Aguilar right now, he's exceeding everything that you could possibly imagine and more. So he's possibly making himself a borderline keeper if you do any kind of keeper leagues for fantasy baseball. Next guy we're going to talk about is Garrett Hampson for the Colorado Rockies. Now, just based off, if you play in Colorado, it's a huge uptake boost for fantasy baseball. So if you do have a new guy in Colorado, Hampson this year, also to Ryan McMahon. Both those guys are going to have an uptick. Next year, you're going to look for guys like Brendan Rodgers once Trevor Story's out of there. So once he's gone, look for Rodgers to have a great year next year. I know he's been hurt all year. He's a young guy. He's probably going to just slide right into the shortstop spot next year for him once they get rid of Trevor, or if they get a shortstop in return for him, depending on what kind of package, what kind of deal they get for him when they trade him before this trading deadline here. Next guy we're talking about is Adolis Garcia, center fielder, Texas Rangers. Dude's a 28-year-old masher. He's been the biggest surprise this year out of all of baseball. He's probably one of the guys who's leading for the AL Rookie of the Year. Him and Mercedes for the Chicago White Sox. They're both 20 years old, both rookies. Both guys mashing. Both guys just swing the bat, having great results right now. So, I mean, kudos, tip of the hat to both those guys for crushing it, and for guys who have picked them up or traded for them, or guys who have seen that vision before all the rest of us have. Those guys are absolutely amazing right now. One of the relievers who's absolutely having a great year this year is Alex Reyes, closer for the St. Louis Cardinals. If you don't know Alex Reyes' story, he was a starter a couple of years ago. Had some elbow issues, arm issues. They shut him off. They took him out of the starter role, put him in the bullpen. Kind of really had no idea what they're going to do for him. They had another guy who was closing, another guy who was closing, another guy who was closing. St. Louis had a revolving door of closers. This year, he won the closer job fair and square out of spring training, and he's been absolutely flourishing ever since he's gotten that role. So St. Louis knows what they're doing. They got lots of good arms. They got Alex Reyes as their closer in that role for quite a while. St. Louis is in first place in their division, so if you have Alex Reyes, he is not going anywhere anytime soon. So you got a closer for the whole year. Next guy we're going to talk about is Kevin Gausman. Kevin Gausman was a very high pick. I believe he was 4th overall when he was picked in the draft. He's always had lots of talent. He had a little slump. He's found it again. He went to Atlanta, had a really rough year. Went to San Francisco. I don't know what they did. I don't know if they worked on his mechanics, his mental health, whatever it was, but he found it. He is back to being a dominant pitcher. He's absolutely crushing it this year. He's had another good game. This year, he has an ERA of below 2. It's at 1.66. And also his Ks per 9 inning right now is at 10.11, which is pretty phenomenal. So we are now 1/3 of the way done with the baseball season, and he's had a great first third of the season. So he's going to keep it up. If you have Kevin Gausman, he's a great guy to have. Keep him on your roster. He's going to do terrific things for you. One of the advantages of having him play in San Francisco is he's going to have half the starts in a huge ballpark. So as long as he keeps the ball in the stadium, which I have a feeling he will, he's going to do great things for you all year long. So another guy we're going to talk about is his teammate, Alex Wood. If you had Alex Wood if you got him this offseason, either in the draft or if you got him off a waiver wire, and he's been a phenomenal find for you. Lefty, he was with the Dodgers. He kind of had a little renaissance this year. I should say big renaissance this year. He's found it. He's got his stride back. San Francisco is basically, if you're a pitcher with any kind of talent, you go to San Francisco, you're going to find your niche. I mean, those guys are just turning out the woodworks left and right for pitchers who are just having a great comeback year. So, I mean, if you're a pitcher who needs to come back, maybe sign a 1-year deal with the Giants from here on out, and all of a sudden you're going to have some more offers, some 4, 5, 6-year offers, depending on what your age is and where you're at. So Alex Wood's been another guy who's crushing it. Probably the signing of the year so far is Mark Melancon for the San Diego Padres reliever. There's a huge NL West theme going on right now. So he's had 14 saves right now going on for the Padres this year. He's been the best closer in baseball. He's got the most. It just seems like the Padres, no matter who they put back there, they're going to have guys who are going to have opportunities to get lots and lots of closes. Say, you had Kirby Yates a couple of years ago, who was the top reliever according to the MLB Network, and now you have this guy who's absolutely crushing it. He's been in this role before, so it's not like a huge surprise or huge jump for him. He's just cruising along. He's just doing what he does. 3 outs, game over. So just doing his thing. So next guy we're talking about, Randall Grichuk for the Toronto Blue Jays. If you have him on your fantasy roster this year, it's not so much of a surprise that he's doing really great. He's got all the talent in the world. It's a surprise that he's doing it this year because the Blue Jays didn't even have him in their starting 9 when the season started. They had a big signing of George Springer, who's literally played, I think, 3 pitches all year. He's been hurt on the DL, played I think 3 games, got hurt again. He's been back on the DL again. So he's basically been a big waste of a signing for those guys. Him and Kirby Yates for the Toronto Blue Jays. Those were 2 big signings for the most part this offseason. And then Marcus Semien, only one of those guys is really playing. Simeon's having a great year in a loaded offense. It'd be even better if they got Mr. Springer back, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. So they got Randall Grichuk, who's probably the best 4th outfielder in the entire league. So he's absolutely crushing it right now. So if you got him on your fantasy roster, you're more than happy. So maybe keep an eye out for when Springer comes back. Maybe try to trade this guy for a little bit on the higher side. Get some good value, get some good roster picks back for him. Another player, another guy of need. So he might be a really good guy to trade here. Next guy we're talking about is Joey Wendell, shortstop, second base, third base for the Tampa Bay Rays. This guy is having his best year ever for the Rays. In my personal opinion, I've never thought much of him as a hitter. I've always thought he's been a better defensive guy than he has hitter. But this year he's proven me wrong. So, tip of the hat to you. But again, it's the Rays. He's only going to play, a certain amount of games. Only going to play against certain guys. So, but he is a good guy to have, a good guy to platoon, a good guy to have in there when he is in your starting lineup as of right now. Next guy we're going to talk about is Matt Barnes, relief pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. If you watched baseball in 2020, the Boston Red Sox were by far the worst team in all of baseball via their manager stuff, them having their whole signal stuff, whatever you want to call it. via COVID, however you want to twist it, however you want to say it. They were the worst team in all of baseball. They had 0 pitching, they had 0 hitting, they had 0 everything. This year it's been a complete 180. The Boston Red Sox are on top of the AL East. They have some great hitters. They have some good pitchers. They don't even have their ace back yet. Chris Sale, he's on the way. It looks like he just threw a bullpen. He's letting it go, whatever the hell that means in baseball terms. So obviously he's throwing harder. But yeah, he'll be back in June or July. So we'll see about that. Once Chris Sale comes back, we'll see how that affects the rotation, the domino effect that it's going to have here for the rest of the Red Sox and the organization. That'll probably be a nice big boost to him, having your ace, having your guy who's going to, get you those quality 6-7 innings a game. So hopefully he comes back in time where he can get those right before the playoffs, so the Boston Red Sox can make a run if they keep going at this pace here. Next guy we're going to talk about who's had a killer year is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's been absolutely crushing the ball. He lost that weight. He lost the 25 pounds. I mean, there's no secret what it is. He's had talent. I mean, his dad's a Hall of Famer. If he just lost the weight and got in shape and got his head right, he's there. And he's there. So he's absolutely crushing everything. His average is over 300. He's slugging over 1,000. So I mean, dude, he's there. He's gonna rock and roll. He's gonna be Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's gonna be a 3-hole, 4-hole all year for Toronto. He's found it. He's got it. So we're looking for him to do great things for the rest of his career. If you got him, he's gonna be a 10-year keeper. He's gonna be just like Fernando Tatis Jr., 10-year keeper. He's gonna absolutely crush. So, all right. So now we're gonna talk about the fantasy baseball duds this year, guys who have sucked, guys who you wasted a high draft pick on, guys who you're just disappointed, guys whose name brand value has not done the expectations that you wanted. So we're going to talk about those guys right here. First one, we're going to talk about Gary Sanchez. Gary Sanchez absolutely sucks. He sucked last year. He sucks this year. He doesn't even play half the games anymore. If you have a Gary Sanchez stock, you have him as your catcher in any way, shape, or form in fantasy baseball, you're basically an idiot. Don't have this guy on your roster. Drop his ass. He is absolutely worthless. He's going to hit 150, maybe have 10 home runs the rest of the way out. I mean, if you got him on your team and you think he's going to get you anything, you might want to reevaluate your fantasy baseball skills. Anyways, next thing we're talking about is Eddie Rosario. This was a really easy one to call. I'd said this from the very beginning that he was not going to have a good year this year. Signing with the hapless Cleveland Indians, they have 2 guys that can hit, Ramirez and Reyes, and that's it. This guy can hit a little bit. He's very hot. He's very cold. I just wouldn't have him on my roster. He's somebody I wouldn't even trade for, some guy I would look at. If he's on the waiver wire, he's some guy I would just leave there. So just wouldn't even touch him. I have no faith in him whatsoever doing anything this year unless he gets traded and he gets surrounded by a bunch of guys who can hit. Other than that, no. Next guy we're going to talk about is Matt Chapman. There was a lot of hype on Matt Chapman being like an MVP candidate this year in fantasy baseball. Me personally, I don't see it. I've never seen it. I think the MVP chatter came from his Gold Glove defense. I've really never seen him as a huge, high ceiling, high fantasy baseball guy. Somebody you've got to have. Somebody who's going to be a keeper. I've never seen that from him. I've never seen him as a top 100 fantasy baseball player. Just my opinion, for whatever that's worth. But he is a serviceable dude. He's probably gonna be like somewhere between the 15 and 20 range for third baseman. Third base is a very deep position this year. One guy we talked about earlier in the video, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., is actually eligible for third base, so he's probably the top third baseman this year, right up there with Nolan Arenado off the top of my head. So I think Anthony Rendon will be up there at the end of the year. He just needs to get back and get going. Jose Ramirez, so just 4 guys off the top of my head right there who are plus third basemen in fantasy baseball too as well. Next guy we're talking about who's been a huge disappointment is Jose Barrios, starting pitcher for the Minnesota Twins. Now, this guy has it all. He has all the stuff. He's got the pitches. He's got the tool. He's their ace of their staff. But for whatever reason, like he's just not getting it mentally or physically, or he's just not repeating or whatever he's doing. I don't know if his mechanics are off, his whatever it is, but he can't repeat. He's not consistent. He's some guy who should be a hell of a lot better than ranked 208th or 210th or whatever he is in your league. So he's been a huge disappointment for me personally. I expected him to be in the top 50 this year. I don't see why he would be. He's got everything you want. He's got a big offense. He plays in that pitcher's park. You know, he's the ace of the staff. He should be doing a lot better. So, but whatever. It is what it is. So there's still 2/3 of the season left. So maybe he turns around, kicks in the high gear, and makes me look like a fool. So that could happen. It's happened before. Next thing we're talking about is German Marquez, starting pitcher, Colorado Rockies. This is pretty simple. He needs to get out of Colorado. Pretty simple. So pitchers in Colorado suck. They always suck. They always have sucked. There's no pitchers who you can really say, oh yeah, they're great in Colorado. Oh no, their ERA went down a whole point in Colorado. No, That never happens that way. So, anyways, he just needs to get out of there. He needs a fresh start. He needs a new team. He needs a team that actually has a chance to win. He needs to be in a team that has a little bit of an offense. So, just saying, just throwing it out there, So I expect him to be traded this trading deadline. John Gray, and also look for Trevor Story to be adios for the Rockies. They got to build from scratch. If you're going to trade your best player away, Nolan, you've got to trade the rest of the guys away for as many prospects, as many guys as you can get, as many arms as you can get. I mean, you just got to figure something out. So you got to have a plan. The Rockies just fired their GM, I think, like a month and a half ago now, or whatever it's been. So they really don't have a plan. They really don't have an organizational philosophy that works for them. They're basically going to be stuck in dweller cellar season for quite a while because they played the Dodgers, the Padres. The Padres had a plan, brought themselves back up. Dodgers have been a top team for the last 10 years. So, yeah, if you're Colorado, man, good luck. It's going to be a rough go for quite a while. So, next guy we're going to talk about, he's had a terrible season, Patrick Corbin, for the Washington Nationals. Velocity down. He's getting crushed. He's getting hit anywhere in the ballpark. This year has just not been his year, plain and simple. I don't know what to do. I don't know if you can trade him this year with this huge contract. His value is basically nothing. So maybe trade him in the offseason when his value goes up a little bit. Maybe he's got a good second half run. I don't know. But just so far, Patrick Corbin's been one of the most disappointing pitchers in all the fantasy land. Sonny Gray, Cincinnati Reds. He was supposed to be the ace this year. Trevor Bauer went to LA. Sonny Gray was supposed to be the man. So they got him in the trade for the Yankees a long time ago. Went to Cincinnati, got better. He's still better. It's just he's not what you want to hope, not where you want to be. I think Sonny Gray has potential top 20 rankings overall in all of baseball. I think he can be that dominant. Right now, he's not. That's just what I think. I think very highly of him. So for him to be where he's at right now, ranked in the 400s, it's a little low. I know he was injured. I know he's probably still working back a little bit from the injury. He's probably not feeling 100% just yet. I know he'll get there. We still got a long ways to go in the season, but for right now, Sonny Gray is very disappointing to me, just for the fact that he's ranked a little bit lower, and he's had glimmers of really good games, and then he's had really bad games after the good games. So it's kind of like so. Hopefully he'll get in his groove and figure it out. Next guy we're talking about is DJ LeMahieu. He got the big contract this season for the New York Yankees. DJ LeMahieu, he's a good hitter. He's going to do his thing. He's gonna get better. But just so far for the first 1/3 of the season, he's been a little disappointing, a little under the belt. So has the whole Yankees offense, as we were talking about earlier. But he will find it. He will be DJ LeMahieu. He will hit you 300 plus. He will get you probably 100 runs, somewhere in the area code of 15 to 20 bombs, 80 RBIs. He will have those numbers in the year, guarantee it. So next guy we're talking about, who's been very disappointing, this guy who I have on my fantasy baseball team, Josh Bell. I traded for him this year, and he's absolutely sucked. So he is killing me. But he's in a really good lineup for the first 5 hitters. He's got double T in front of him, Mr. Trey Turner. He's got now Juan Soto back, so I'm hoping that maybe having Juan Soto back, Trey Turner in front of him is going to help him click, help him get going here, have base runners on. Maybe we'll get some better pitches from the pitchers in the stretch. And maybe he'll get some more hits, more doubles, triples, home runs, whatever, and get back to being Josh Bell. So we'll see what happens. It was a big trade for him this offseason, getting him from the Pirates. It's a good trade. Josh Bell's only 28, still got lots of baseball left in him this year. I'm going to hold on to him for a little while. I have faith in him. I have faith that he's going to get back to being Josh Bell. So we'll see if my faith is good. We'll see if my faith is bad, but that's just my opinion on it. So you're welcome, guys. Next guy we're going to talk about is Zach Greinke. He is a little bit long in the tooth. Zach Greinke does not throw very hard. So if he's not on, he's just going to get shellacked. He's not anywhere where he was at one time. When the Astros got him from the Diamondbacks, it was a big deal at the time. That was a couple of years ago. I personally never thought that was a good deal for the Astros, just because of the fact I just thought Zach Greinke's been done for a while. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not a big fan of him. I mean, he's very good at spotting the ball and putting the ball where he wants, but if he's not on, he's not on. So he's not the Zach Greinke of old in Kansas City and Anaheim, where he'd come up, be blowing 95, 96, 98. It's not the same dude anymore. So, but Zach Greinke's okay, but he's just not somebody that is going to be great. He's somebody who's overranked, overrated in fantasy baseball, just in my opinion. Another other guy who's had a really tough start is, Marcell Ozuna for the Atlanta Braves. Send that big contract for Atlanta this offseason. Big hype, big numbers, everything else in between. He's had little results so far. So, again, 1/3 of the way in. Atlanta's going to get a little bit warmer. Maybe as the weather heats up, his bat will heat up. So far, he's been a very big disappointment in the world of fantasy baseball. Next guy is Brandon Lowe, Tampa Bay Rays, second base, first base, outfielder. Now, this guy, he had all the hype in the world coming in this year. This dude's going to hit 35 bombs. He's going to hit 270, blah, 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 blah. He has not done any of that. He's barely hitting 200. That's on a good day. So he's getting a couple bombs here and there, but definitely not living up to the hype that he has been just yet. So we'll see what happens. I like Velo. I think he's got a good swing. I think he's in a decent lineup. The Rays are finally hitting. They just had a 5-game win streak, so we'll see. It got snapped yesterday by the Orioles, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if they come back, and we'll see what they do. So, last guy we're talking about who's been a huge disappointment so far is Kyle Hendricks for the Chicago Cubs. Just personally, like the dude, he's a spotter too. He's not going to blow you away. He throws 88 on a good day, change-up, curveball, whatever. He's kind of like a little mini Greg Maddux or whatever you want to call it, a new Greg Maddux negative 2.0, because he's not Greg Maddux. I don't know why people keep saying that, but whatever. But he's just a guy who's going to have to spot the ball, do his thing. If he doesn't hit his spots, he's in trouble. He doesn't throw hard enough to blow up by anybody. Yeah, so anyways, but he's just the guy. I looked at his stats the other day. He's been good start, bad start, good start, bad start, good start, bad start, good start, bad start, good start. He just had a good start against Detroit, so he's probably gonna have a bad start. But I mean, you know, who knows? Maybe he'll break the pattern. Maybe he'll have a nice start. But we'll see what happens. But those are the guys who have been huge fantasy busts so far. So, one note we got to say congratulations to Mr. Corey Kluber, who's had a very rough 2 years. He got a no-no last night against the not so much hitting Texas Rangers. So congratulations, Mr. Kluber. Hats off to you, sir. Great job. Welcome back to the big leagues. You are now officially a number 3 pitcher for the New York Yankees. Congratulations. All right, cool beans. So we're going to talk about some minor leaguer guys. Brohan, Tampa Bay Rays, call him up. He's crushing it. He needs to be your center fielder. Get Kiermaier out of there. Put this dude in. This guy can hit. He can steal. He's a good hitter. So there you go. Next guy we're talking about is Monahan, the Toronto Blue Jays ace in their AAA association right now. Dude is filthy. He is nasty. I saw some of his highlights. The dude is gross. Call him up. 6 innings last night, 10 strikeouts. The dude is double-digit strikeout every start so far in the minor leagues. Dude, call him up. Put him in there. Tell Nate Pearson to chill out, because this dude is better than Pearson. I guarantee he comes up, he's going to be better. And he's going to be somebody who is going to have the eyes of all of his teammates and all the fans in Toronto/Dunedin Blue Jays. All right, cool beans. Now, I'm going to talk about Tony La Russa. Sorry, I screwed up his name because that's how little he means to me right now. Tony La Russa, he's an old school manager. I get that. There's rules, unsanctioned rules, whatever, blah, blah, blah. All right. First of all, dude, you're 76. Okay, this is a brand new baseball game. These guys do it their way. It's not the old school. It's not where, you have pitchers going 18 innings. You got pitchers going like 8 pitches and they get pulled out because they hurt their arm. So just let's clarify this. All right, dude. So now let's get this right. So their DH, I can never pronounce the name, Mercedes, hit a home run off of Willie Astiago the other night, Minnesota Twins. So in case you haven't heard this or see what's going on, this is how out of touch this guy is. So if you have a pitcher on there, basically their teams put up the white flag, say, hey, excuse me, a position player pitching. Basically the team said, hey, white flag, this game's over, we're done. Just try to get some outs, whatever, blah, 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 blah. All right, you guys ran it up on us, you guys beat us, cool. All right. Now, if you're in the box, you're trying to get a hit. Why? You want to make money. That's what this game is. You have a short lifespan in this game. This dude's 28. He's a rookie. He's not going to make that much money in this game, playing in the major leagues for a long time. It's just how it is. So 3-0 pitch. He swung, cracked it over the fence, yada, yada. Goes around. Okay, cool. Over and done with, right? Position player is pitching. He's throwing 47 miles an hour. There's no problem. There's no issue with it whatsoever. If you're in the dugout on either side, you're okay with it. You're as a player, it doesn't matter. So you're fine with it. All right, cool. The guy you got a home run off position player. Cool, whatever, position player. It's over and done with. So this dude, Tony La Russa, goes, oh, we're going to have an internal punishment for this guy. Internal punishment. And what do? You put him out there the next freaking day, and he gets thrown at in the head. And you know that the pitchers aren't happy about this. You know Minnesota might not be happy about this. You punish him. You put him out there the next game. He gets thrown at. You don't stand up for the dude, and you say, oh, I agree with the Minnesota Twins. Dude, are you trying to lose your entire locker room? Are you trying to lose your entire roster? Are you trying to insult your entire team? Like, dude, get a clue. Like, you seriously, I know you're old school. I know you're a manager. I know you're a Hall of Famer. I know you're, everything to this, everything. But let me just recap how stupid you are. Number one, you got the job for the White Sox the same day you got a freaking DUI. Okay, stupid. You're a manager of a team. You're supposed to protect protect your 25 or 26 man roster, and you're not doing it. Okay. That is stupid. Effing stupid. If you have the balls to go out and say, oh, I agree with the other team, that's old school, blah, 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 blah. Maybe you should check yourself at the door, dude. You have an office to protect yourself from the players right now, because I guarantee those 25 dudes right there who have lockers right next to other are saying, dude, what is your issue? Why are you freaking doing this shit? I guarantee you they're pissed off right now, and they ain't playing for you. There's no way in hell. That's a good team you got. That's a World Series caliber team, and you're pissing on them, dude. Know your players. Know the game. Stop acting like it's an all old school mentality. You should have been up in that face of the umpire, of the Twins, saying that's bullshit. But here's the kicker. He should have been in the lineup that next day if he's in punishment and if you're taking it internal in-house. He's not in the lineup. You punish him. Hey, you're off the rest of the series if you're going to punish him, if you're going to do in-house punishment. But you didn't do that. You put the dude at risk. You didn't punish the guy. You're full of shit. That's what you are. And you wonder why these guys are going to turn on your ass. You'll probably be fired in 2 months. Freaking RUSSA, freaking idiot. Sorry, dude. Hall of Fame, dude. I got a lot of respect for him, but just when it comes to this kind of shit, stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. All right. That's it. Gets a DUI and sells a freaking job. What a moron. All right. Anyways, now next thing I'm going to talk about, just common sense trades, dude. Okay, if you do fantasy baseball, you got to know common sense trades. There's a thing out there called the internet. You go on the internet, you type in fantasy baseball trade analyzer. You go, you put in the guys who you're going to trade for the guys you're going to get. Okay? So real simple. You type it in, you go, put it in, ding. Oh, this guy, this guy, this guy. Oh, this guy, this guy, this guy. It's a common sense evaluation. All right, guys. Plain and simple. When you do a trade, figure it out. Have common sense. Be smart about it. It's very simple. Okay, look. I know that I can say this because I was an idiot at one time. I didn't have common sense trade value. Plain and simple. I can say this. I can go off on this shit all day because I wasn't like that. Now I am. Now I understand how fantasy baseball works. I understand the process of it. I understand you're either going to in it for now or you're in it for long term. If you're in it for long term, sell your dudes, get as many picks as you can, and get ready for the next year. If you're playing for fantasy, if you're playing for this year, play for this year. Don't freaking be like, oh, this guy, oh, he's 22 years old. Oh, he had 52 Ks last year in AAA. Oh, I bet he's going to have a 10-year career. You don't know that. Stop acting like that. Don't be like, oh, well, you know, this guy's only 23 years old. I mean, he's going to have a Hall of Fame career. He hasn't stepped one inning on the freaking field. But you know what? I mean, AAA stats. I mean, he had 40 home runs. Dude, that means nothing. That is not Major League Baseball stuff. Stop projecting these minor league guys to be having great Hall of Fame professional careers. It's not going to happen. How many guys are like, oh, man, that guy's a can't miss. Oh, that guy's a can't miss. Oh, that guy's can't miss. Oh, hey, remember a guy named Albert Pujols who was picking like the 35th round for the St. Louis Cardinals? Oh, he's a Hall of Famer. Oh, yeah. Like, dude, just stop with that stuff. Figure out, make smart, analytical, decisional trades. When you see the rankings, okay, there's always a ranking right here in the upper corner with players. Okay, that's a ranking. That's an idea of where they're at now. It's not going to tell you where they're going to be. Now, if you go on, if you're in a league and you see all the different stuff they have 30 days, 7 days, rest of the season. They have all this stuff to show you how the numbers are going to be. That way you can project the rest of the season. Even if you're going to play for the future, even if your team sucks, even if you're in last, and you want to get rid of all your guys so you can get as many draft picks as you can, at least have an idea of how they're going to do. At least know what you know. At least know what you're getting in return. It's not that hard. It's called common sense, man. Like it really is common freaking sense. If you don't have any, go to the store and buy some. I promise you, they got some there. Probably not. You probably miss it. Probably hit you in the head and you'd be like, oh, hey. Anyways, that's my rant, dude. I'm just freaking tired of people just being just freaking stupid, man. I used to be that way, so I get it, man. I get it. So I've been on both sides of the coin. I was a freaking idiot when I first did this shit too. So, all right. Anyways, that's it. So I'm Ty Guy, the sports guy. Please like, subscribe, share, add, pop that button, click it, pound it, tell your friends, spread the word. Let everybody know that I'm here. I like to do rants. I like to say what I think. It's just plain and simple. So if you don't like it, that's cool. If you like it, that's cool too. Whatever, dude. I'm not. You know, it's all good. So that's what makes America so great. All right, in the background, we got Ken Griffey Jr., the greatest hitter of all time. We got one of my adult baseball leagues I used to play a long time ago. Got the St. Louis St. Louis Cardinals St. Patrick's Day hat and a good old Under Armour hat. So, all right, guys, I hope you're having a wonderful rest of your day. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. Let me see what today's day is real quick. I don't even know. Thursday, May 20th. All right. Thank you so much for checking me out. I appreciate y'all. Hope you all enjoyed my rants on Tony LaRussa, how to be a smart or just at least a normal or just cognitive human being on how to do a fantasy baseball trade. In case you missed my rant, in case I spoke too fast for you, simply go on the internet, type in who you're trading, type in who you're trading for, figure out the numbers, see if it makes sense, and it shows you right there. It'll give you the ratings of every guy and the number and the ratings of your guys and the number too as well. So it's really, really simple. It'll show you who got the better end, who got the worse end, and if you're in a fantasy baseball league, get the draft picks to make up for that gap. All right, pretty simple, guys. All right, anyways, I'm Ty Guy, the sports guy. Please, again, I'm going to say this until you all start doing this shit. Like, subscribe, add, share. Like, subscribe, add, share. All right, guys. Texas Rangers, that's my team. That's my team. So they sucked this year, but it's all right. It's all good. So, all right, guys, have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. Bye.